We are
Look at
live.
that. I've just been told I'm live. That's a bonus. That's a bonus. Hello, welcome, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. And there's 18 of you out there staring at me. So without further ado, I'll wake up my master earworm and bring him into the mix.
Hello!
Yeah,
Just to prove I'm awake. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
let's take Andy out and hide him in the background. And let you know what I'm doing. You've seen the picture of the blank on the Facebook lives and the YouTube lives and whatever it is that comes up. So let me find another camera. I think it's that one. I've been playing with them to get a better picture. Right, it's this one. So this is one easily adjustable. You can see the size of the piece, and it's certainly not round. It's about 12 inches at its widest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on my tool rest the widest part. You can just see that there.
Yep.
And then it's almost there as well. It's just a bit bigger there. That's where the 12-inch line comes up. So it's 12 and a quarter there. And that drops right back there. 3 inches nearly, 2.5 inches. So, and there, that fork, it goes back to there. So there's quite a bit of air and there's quite a bit of wood to come off. So it's going to be a slow one. So what I've decided is I'm turning the outside today, and then I will come back next Tuesday lunchtime, because that's the one I'm programmed in for, to do the inside. So only expect half a job today, but I do apologise, but I know it's going to be a fight and it's going to be slow going. I've got this camera set up, and I've also got, I think it's that one. No, that's the above one, which does absolutely nothing. So it's, at the moment, you can't see anything. I've also got my yellow bag cam set up, which I can drop down so you can actually see where I turn from, which is at 45 to the tool rest and the handle right down. So let's go back to the previous one, which is a better shot for the time being. But if anyone's got any questions about my turning method, you can certainly pop them in the chat. Providing my boy's awake at the time, he'll pick them up.
I might even spot them, yeah.
Yeah, the same angle on this camera, which I can adjust, is that's 45. So there's the cutting angle on this camera. So the handle's right down. So let's bring the camera up a bit. Don't think it's going to bleach out too much with that light on there. Doesn't look too bad. I can possibly take the intensity down a bit and still see what I'm doing down to that. So I'm going to start off by trying to knock off some of the extremities. So let's get rid of that. I'm fairly fortunate that I can start my lathe off at 2 revs, and I can gradually increase it right the way through to 2,800. You can see I'm getting a little bit of movement on there, so I can back off a bit, which stabilizes it. So I'm going over to the small chisel to start with. I'm just going to ease it up the tool rest. And you can see the lumps coming off. And I'm firing them away from me. I'm standing behind the piece. Just keep tweaking it because it's going to want to drill itself in. The other side I've got on a 4-prong drive, and I can hear it picking up. So if Andy would like to go through the register and
I will do indeed.
log you all in.
I'm going to try and take it from the chat on YouTube. Well, no, I'll do it the chat on StreamYard. It seems to be missing lots of people at the moment, so I'll try this one. So, first in was Tommy's Workshop, followed by Circular Wood by Keith. I'm glad he's here because it would be a bit boring otherwise.
Yeah.
Rob Copperell Wood Turning, David J. Heath, Guildford Carpenter, Lawrence Bugaja, Chris Dodds, all the way from Australia, Linnykins, good afternoon, Michael McEwen, Steve Hale, I've said, Doug Miller, Tony Smith.
Tony, and yes, I do know who you are now because we spoke Sunday. He's the lorry driver.
Right.
Not the taxi driver.
Clint at Wood Dancers. Oh, yeah, that's right, yes. Roy's the boy.
You're getting the hang of this now then, Roy. You're getting in before we finish.
Yeah, it's impressive. Lots of chat going on, which is good. Doug Miller, I think I said him, but if not, I'll say him again. Kitey's Shed. Andrew, YV Woodshed. They're all repeat names. This is where you miss them, isn't it? Brent Beecroft. All the same people again. It's really nice to see people chatting to each other. I think it's great. James Crawford. And I think, no, we're not at the bottom yet. Pete Twisted Trees. Hello, Pete.
Hi, Pete. Hi, all. That's beginning
Greg Alexander.
to shape, so I can pull the tool.
So I'm still ploughing through them, but
I'm going to attack it from the outside for a few, which is what you would normally do. But
Sidley 61, and I think I'm there. If I've missed you, I apologise. Just shout at me. I don't mind.
So I'm a very long way below centre. Let me mark where centre is and my tool rest is so that you can get an indication of where I am. That's level. So I'm 2 inches below centre with the tool rest. But where I'm cutting is just below. Or if I'm on this one, which is just below. And this one that we would started off with is a shearing cut. You can see it going down the flute. Now you can't see it going down the flute, you have to take my word for it. But that is a lot easier than coming in here and picking up bump, 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 bump as it goes round. But I just want to get a little bit more out of this on the more traditional style by pushing rather than shearing. So it's a freshly sharpened bowl gouge, 1/2 inch bowl gouge, English bowl gouge. The handle is well down.
Benjamin is in. And Rob Copperell Woodturning says, so you drop the tool rest so you can drop your handle way low.
Yes.
That sums it
Yeah.
up, doesn't it?
Yep. I've taped that so it doesn't pull very far, but that's it. The handle is down at 45 degrees to where I'm cutting, and I've got a 45-degree bevel on all my tools, so I'm getting a shear cut rather than a pull cut, and you can see the shavings coming off, and that's quite a nice easy cut. There's the shavings. That's what you want. You don't want to put the tool in the middle and do a shear pull cut, because you're just getting dust off that way, so you're not using the tool to the full advantage. It's making the lathe grunt a bit. I think each time we get a full pass in, I can actually creep the volume up a bit more. I can be quite aggressive with the cuts because I've got a 1.5 horse 3-phase motor. Turning this wood round, so to stall it, I've got to be quite aggressive or jam the tool in. It's going to have a spigot on it. As we are end grain rather than cross grain, normal bowl orientation, so I can squeeze the end grain together with the gripper jaws that I've got. Don't know the age of this piece, but it is quite old.
Jonathan Flynn is in. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. So the other thing to be aware of is my left arm. I've got the sleeve tightened up on the Velcro because over the back here you've got flappy bits. You don't want to get caught up on one of them. It would certainly break my arm on this lathe because I can't stop it. I've got the emergency stop button, but it's still a 5-second ramp down time. And there's still shavings coming off, believe it or not.
Stephen Miller has just joined us. Good afternoon, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen. Oh, good afternoon to everybody. I think I'm going to stop this readjust the tool rest, bring it up a fraction now. So I've got the bounce out of it. There's quite a bit of wood to come off. There's quite a few gaps in it, but it should be stunning if it stops together.
Yeah.
Say if. You're never totally sure. I think I've glued up 6 shakes, which is always an issue with you, particularly driving it in the round.
Good afternoon, Brian. Brian at Heartwood Turning is in.
Hello, Brian. How much further have I got to go for a tenon? Oh, a lot, yeah. A lot. About
Brian
there.
Watkins is in. Good afternoon, Brian.
Another 6mm off each side. Should be pretty close, or accurate, whichever you want to be. I'm looking for a parallel tenon for the gripper jaws, and I want to get that established fairly early, so that if we do have an oops moment and we do a brine and it goes flying across the workshop, I can at least remount it. Just square that up with the parting tool so that I've got a square shoulder there for the jaws to sit against. Now I can start thinking about the shape. It's actually quite a nice finish on that cut through there, which is
Good
always
old
a
you.
bonus. Yeah, but good old you. So I still want to come down another ½ inch. Yeah, something like that. So we've got a bit of everything in this. Let's see if we're still tight. Get a few more revs on it. Gingerly find the edge.
Cornish Maid is in. Hello, Katie.
Hi, Katie. hoping we might see a new name in the chat. Do you want to do the honours on Mr. Zimmerman?
I'm just trying to.
Okay, remove him for the sake of everyone else.
Come on.
As I was saying, I'm hoping to see a new name in the chat. We've got one of our older club members that's having issues trying to get onto YouTube, and we found out why. He was trying to get in without logging in. So he might be sitting in the background laughing at us all. If you are, John, I'm not quite sure how you're going to sign him, whether it's going to be John Stepney or Michael John Stepney or something in the like of that. It could even be rude knowing John. I want to try something totally different and unusual on this one as a finish, as a turned item, and I still want to be a little bit tighter. Let's see if I can get rid of some of that. I can see it's loose because I can see the daylight down the side, so the more I can pick out, the less is going to do flying out and trying to attack me. I feel confident in what I'm doing and the way I'm presenting the tool, which is why I haven't got a full face visor on. If it started spitting a bit, I have got it handy, but it's all down to me feeling confident, not overconfident, but confident, and I'm standing back out of the line of fire, so that if anything should fly off, I'm not in line with it over here. I'm standing tailstock end, so I'm quite a fair distance out. So going back to my thoughts, I'm thinking of doing a radius on the bowl and then taking it through the foot later on, so that I'm not sure whether we've lost Andy. I think we have. Let me bring him back in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I managed to delete it somehow.
Yeah. So I'm not sure when you went out. But I just said I'm looking at a different style. I want to put a radius base on the bowl so it doesn't sit flat. It's sort of a rocking bowl.
Oh right, yep, yeah, I'm with you.
So it'll sit on one of the wings. It'll come to rest wherever it feels like it. So the trick on these is to have a radius that works all the way around.
All right. The wood turning by Barry is in. Hello, Barry. And I'm still on the screen.
Yeah, so I gathered. Sorry about
They
that,
see
guys.
can still see my lovely face. Yeah. Thank you, Katie. I'll take a flattery every day.
Can you guys see what I'm doing?
Yes, pretty much.
Good. It's never an easy one when you're trying to stay clear of the live edges and various bits and pieces.
Yeah.
This is a shear cut. I'm coming down at 45 degrees on the back edge, left hand wing. Not pressing, but the wings just gently caressing the wood to give me a cut. Hopefully it's going to leave a finish that doesn't require the conventional half brick to get it down to a straightish, flattish finish. So there are shavings coming off. These are shavings, but they're very fine. So I think with it running, that looks quite good. Let's put it on the overhead one so that possibly don't want that. Sorry, Kitey. It's waking up the mouse and it woke up on your name. Is it that one? No. It's that one then. So directly above it, you can kill that light for a second. You can see the radius of it coming.
Shape, yeah.
Yep. So when I turn off the Tenon afterwards, when I reverse it and turn it off, the bottom will run right the way through the Tenon as it is at the moment. So I can go a bit deeper. I've still got a good inch there. This was nearly an inch out of parallel when it was cut. I shall have to sack the chainsaw artist that I used. Oh, I can't, it was me. But he didn't make a very good job of it. So if I reduce this by that amount, about half an inch, that still leaves me a half-inch wing, which could go down a bit tighter later on. We'll see how it goes. So let's go back to tail cam, because I think it's more interesting than this one. Oh, no, it's not that one. It's that one.
Yep, that's the one.
So I'm going to cut in. It's quite coarse around the sapwood. Doesn't pick it up on the camera, but believe me it is. Let me just give you a quick tickle to see whether getting rid of the dust makes any difference. It does a bit. So all the tailstock's tight up. I can get a bit more speed out of it now.
No, Roy, it's not greenwood. It's fairly dry, I believe.
It's not fairly dry. It's bone dry. Oh, we're nearly up to about 400. But 400 in the centre against 400 out here is a totally different
Yeah, peripheral
beast.
speed's somewhat greater.
Yeah. So I'm letting the wood come onto the chisel. I'm not pushing the chisel. The chisel's doing the work. It's cutting reasonably well. Find the edge again, somewhere about there. I can just see a reference mark where I'm cutting. You can't see it, but I can. So I know
It's
where
just
I'm
a blur.
aiming for. That's lost its edge.
Happens.
Yep, exactly the same grind, so I can go back in. And if you're not sure, put the bevel on with the heel rubbing, run it back, and you'll soon find out when you get to the end, which is the beginning of the next cut. That's not very good ground. I thought I sharpened that. Perhaps I did somewhere. Right.
Yeah, the king was on the throne, though, that's the problem.
No, I'm not happy. I'll go back to the old one, which needs to sharpen, really, but I'm getting a far better cut on this one, even though it's getting on to be blunt. I could sharpen it. Yeah, slide the chisel back on the bevel. When there's no noise, push it in 2mm, 1/8 of an inch. There's your next cut.
Oh, Radar, the wood turner's in. Hello, Radar.
Hello, stranger. Long time no see. So we're getting there. Another couple of passes and I shan't be far off. Readjust the tool rest. Make sure it's locked down tight in both departments. Yeah, I might make the bowl a fraction smaller so that it's got quite a predominant wing there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little ear there and nose and a chin there, so it's got one bit that's quite pronounced. But what I was doing was I was sliding the chisel back on the bevel, waiting for it to stop knocking, pushing it up the tool rest into the wood, and that's the new cut. Rather than just put it on the tool rest, oh, it's about there, bang, and it goes flying. We don't want that. Crack in wood, but I think it's something behind. There is a crack in the wood. There's about 7 that have been super glued. So I'm fairly confident that they're going to be good.
They seem to be hanging on in there so far.
Yeah. But as this is going to be a 2-part one, I can always re-glue them over the next few days. So for those that weren't in at the very beginning, I'm programmed in for next Tuesday lunchtime on Andy and my little diary that we've got, roster that we've got running. So you'll see the inside being taken out next Tuesday. And Andy is doing a 2-part starting Tuesday evening next week. Not this week because Rich is on. And he's doing, like I say, a 2-parter. So the fortnight's time, Andy will pick up on the Tuesday lunchtime. So you get we've got 2 consecutive days. It's just how it's worked. And he's got a baby lump on just to prove that
Just
he
a
can
small
do it.
piece.
Yeah, only a mere 15 inches. And he's had a
Yeah,
practice.
the thing is up on YouTube, so.
So the crack you can see is that one possibly, which is a little bit deeper than what I bargained for. So I will certainly run some more in there. There's another small one just there, which was treated from the bottom, but it looks like it's going a bit deeper. One there which has been treated. There's one there that's uncovered itself, which hasn't. The one up here has been super glued, so I'm fairly confident. I'm not taking massive cuts on it now. I'm easing myself into it slowly. So I think that is the full depth. That gives me then a chance to clean up the top. So I'm just going to clean up this wing, which has got a few tool marks there. What have I got that's sharp? Apparently nothing much. We go down a size then. So I'm now on a 3/8 bowl gouge rather than the 1/2 inch. Let's see if I can get a few more revs out of it. Each time you take a slice off, you balance it up better. There's the imaginary cut. Nice and slow, so I don't need to spend weeks sanding it.
I'll put my link in for the 15th of February in the evening next week.
I think it's the stand I can see.
Early, but Sidley's asking if I'd thought about doing lunchtime on Wednesday live. No, I haven't actually, Sidley, but I'll give it some thought.
We seem to have dropped into this Tuesday lunchtime slot, which works for us.
Yeah.
And
I don't actually want to do too many, if I'm honest,
No.
because it's really quite difficult to think of something original to do, something a bit different. And if you're doing too many, it becomes even more difficult. I know Wayne manages it, but
I'm sure you guys don't want to see us do a bowl on top of a bowl on top of a bowl each
yeah,
time.
yeah, I'd hate people to get bored. So we try and sort of spread it out a little bit. Is the flaming turner on Wednesday? I don't know.
I thought Nick had jacked it in doing lives, the Flaming Turner, but I may well be wrong. Seems about a bit. Yeah, I know what you mean, Pete.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Andy and I do talk on a reasonable basis so that we can remind each other, don't forget you're on. Which is,
I have the piece of paper hung up in front of me.
yeah, I've got it on the PC, so.
But I did. I think I did watch Terry's. Did I? I can't remember now. What you're saying about memories, Peter? It's the same.
Yeah. Right, I'm just going in with a small scraper, negative rake, just to see if I can tart that little bit of a wing up. As the wings are on there, it's not the easiest to actually get in the position you want to be. That's better.
Yeah, apparently Nick has been doing Wednesdays again, so.
Right. Now, I do have another life as well as wood turning, believe it or not. And,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed out in the workshop every night if I'm out during the day, or every day if I'm out of the night time. So we keep ourselves sort of happy.
Turn that compressor off. Don't need that on.
And what we don't want to do is you guys to get bored of us doing the same or similar things each time.
Yeah. It's quite a difficult balancing act, isn't it? You know,
It is.
To get it right. And I'm not saying we always do, but we do try.
We give you the choice if we can. So, hope that's not too loud.
No, that's fine. I thoroughly enjoyed doing it, I must admit. And it's great chatting to you all, and hopefully passing on a bit of information. But I wouldn't want to do it too much.
That's better. That's better. Almost. So I'm quite pleased with that.
Good.
Almost. Let's see if I can get a little bit more out of this back corner. Put a new edge on the tool.
We were coping with the noise, Keith, but Katie says it woke her up. So that's good.
I missed all of that, mate. Sorry.
You were asking if we could cope with the noise. Katie said it woke her up.
Oh, sorry, Katie. I thought
Yeah.
that was Chris that woke you up. It's actually cutting now.
Seems to be.
But it is so fine. Not even
Yeah,
paper
there's
thickness.
dust, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh. That's all right. I wonder what the noise was. It's the grinder running down. Still got
Oh, right. Yeah.
Take off there. It's got very good bearings in the bench grinder, and it takes a fair time to run down. sort that out before I sand it, I'm happy with the shape. It's got quite a nice bowl to it without a base on it. So what I think is I haven't got much in the way of super glue, and also I don't have any accelerator with me. I don't think I even got any. I'm going to drop some super glue in this.
I bought 3 cans last time when I bought some, so 4 cans. I've still got 3 new ones. So if I see you, I'll let you have one.
Okay, mate. Thank you. Bring the camera up a bit. You can see as I go around topping up the cracks. It's far better to do this now and then take another pass afterwards. A lot of you would actually sand and seal this so that the super glue didn't mark. I much prefer to take an extra slice off with the chisel because I'm not quite where I want to be, but close enough to be not far off, if you know what I mean. This is the deep one, so that might take a bit more than what I've actually not got in the bottle. So if you guys have got any questions, bang them in the chat if you've not asked them already, because it's not going to go on much more than an hour today for that reason. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably come down here one night, stick the dust mask on, and just sand this back so that we've got a finished bottom, and then we can hopefully finish the inside.
Real simple things is in. That's Baz, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him in before.
But this is always the issue with you when you're taking a biscuit off of it. It's going to have dried in the round, and the round for you isn't a brilliant way of letting it season. I can't get any more than none out of that, so that's going straight in the bin. And it was straight in the bin. How about that? That was more luck than judgment. So if you've got any questions, guys, bang them in. Otherwise, it's not even going to get to the hour, unfortunately. But you just don't know with wood turning. Some days you can get a lot done in an hour, and another time it takes you an hour just to get the basic shape. Don't want that one. Well, that shows you the profile from above anyway. That shows you how thin we are just there. About 10 mil. Let's come over here and we've got 40 mil.
Yeah. Benjamin asks, how do you know which part of your workshop is the bin? Cheeky, what's it?
Do I need to answer that, Ben?
No, don't think so. Rob Copperell said, "Good, nice shot, Keith."
It was straight in.
Yeah.
Didn't even touch the sides. I've got a 5-gallon teat cleaner box tub that I cut the top out of as my waste bin, and it works a treat. So let's bring.
Brian liked Ben's comment.
Yeah,
he would.
He would. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, again.
So.
Well, that's not bad. 50 minutes and he'd done it.
Well, more or
The
less done
outside.
the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to let the glue go off now before I can get anywhere near sanding it. But I will
Sure.
take a small pass off of that, possibly with the negative rake scraper, because that seems to want to take the shakes out of it. But where are we? My
Yep,
negative rake
seem to
scraper
be
is a little bit
doing
on
the
the
job
small
nicely.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 1 3/4 steel. Bit of
It's nice and heavy.
HSS. Yeah.
And Linnykins is asking when you're finishing it. That'll be
Next Tuesday lunchtime.
Tuesday lunchtime, yes, next week.
So I do appreciate you guys coming over and joining in the banter, looking at the way that I work things. I don't always work the correct way. I do try and work a safe way, which is why I was standing out the line of fire. There's so many out there that die hard. It's got to be done this way. It's got to be done that way. You can't do that. You've got to do it this way. Rubbish. I've always worked with tools. I work as safe as I can with tools.
Yep.
I'm sure Andy would back me up on this
Absolutely.
one.
Yep,
There's
absolutely.
more ways of doing it than what's in the
yeah.
textbooks. Textbooks are usually written from one person's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my perspective. Like I say, not necessarily 100% as the textbooks show, but as far as I'm concerned, 99% safe.
How Lawrence is asking how long
Yeah.
do you leave? How much time do you leave the CA glue to dry?
Well, this one's gone off a bit, so at least quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and it's gone in quite deep into the wood, so that would take a bit longer to go off in the wood. Thanks, Idley. Safety in your workshop is down to you, and whoever's on can't say that any better than that, because that is the truth. You are the master of your own safety.
Yeah, and in law, you're responsible for your own safety too.
Yeah. If you don't like doing it, don't bloody do it.
Yes, absolutely.
Find another way. Find another tool. Make sure your tools are sharp.
Or
Make
get
sure
advice.
everything is locked well down. Ask the question. With 30 years behind me, scratching at wood turning, I've only been doing it on this sort of basis for the last 8-10 years, getting ready for retirement, which is what I retired for. Like I said before, I've always worked with tools, so I'm not scared of any tool. But you use it to your ability and the instructions that you're given with it. And when we were setting up, I was showing you that I always try and get the tool handle down at 45 degrees. Oh, there's the camera. Getting a bit closer. I've got a 45-degree bevel ground on all of my chisels, and I've also got a relief cut on the back. So I've only, out of that back bevel, only half of it is actually touching and kissing the wood, and that's where a lot of people go wrong, or not specifically wrong, but don't make it as easy as possible. If that angle across there is too long, the bottom the heel of it, you've got to remember these cameras are backwards to what I can see on the monitor. So that heel is the bit that does the damage. That is the bit that will mark the wood. So if you can reduce that, and I take it back about half, so that on a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, that would be, with a 45-degree grind, that would be just over 1/2 inch of bevel on there. So that won't go round a very tight curve. By reducing that bevel to, I think that's just about, it's about 3/16 to 1/4, I can drive that round a lot tighter curve without the heel making a mark. So that's why I always put the second bevel on mine, and all of them have got it, even my little 10mm 1/4 inch ones, they've all got it, so that I can get that round. That is about 3/8 of bevel on that, all ground at 45 degrees. The actual bevel that would kiss the wood is barely 1/8 of an inch. Experiment. What's the question?
Benjamin's asking about
Was you a
drying.
plumber like me? Yes, I was, Barry.
Oh, that's Barry, yeah.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on a log store versus an enclosed teeny-weeny wooden storage box shed for drying rough turn bits?
And to dry up blanks in general, he's added.
Yeah. I don't do a lot of wet turning, but when I do, I try to turn to a finish and get it thin. And you need to be a little bit careful on what woods you choose to turn wet. Some will turn a lot better than others. Others will really drop out of shape easy. Most fruit woods will turn to a thin wall thickness, but don't forget the wall thickness. Not only is the wall, it's where it goes down through the base. So if you've got a tenon on the base, which is what I've got on here, the base is the 1/8 of an inch wall plus the 1/2 inch tenon, unless you take it off straight away, which I would do if it was wet. And then you've got a symmetrical thinness all the way through, so it shouldn't really break, but or crack or shape. It will probably distort a bit, but the worst thing is actually taking it from a very cold shed and taking it indoors under the heating. Can you wet turn poplar? You can wet turn any wood. Poplar is quite a coarse growing wood, fast growing wood. It's used around here for telegraph poles and the likes because of its tallness and straight grain. It's not the easiest to finish, is it, Andy?
No, it's too porous.
So something like the crabapple that Radar's asking about, and crabapple, as far as I'm concerned, is a fruit wood. It turns quite well. There are some of the fruit woods that don't turn as well as others. Pear is, particularly the French pear, which is slightly pink in colour, but most pears are slightly pink. That was used for cutlery handles in early Victorian England. If you've got any cutlery that have got wooden handles, if you look at them, I expect you'll find most of them have got a pinkish hue to them, which will then point it to being pear. Once pear's dried, you can wash it, you can put it in hot water. Not advisable to put them in dishwashers, but you can certainly wash them in hand hot water, good hand hot water with detergent, and it doesn't do any damage to them. So apple, and I would think crab apple turn great. Apple turns great.
Does split when you dry it if you're not careful.
Yes, yeah. Apple, you do need to, if it's a big enough log, you do need to split it down through the pith.
Yeah.
And if you can plank it, all the better.
But it's nice wood to turn once it's seasoned.
Yep, it's nice wood to turn when it's not seasoned as well.
Well, it is, yeah. I've not done a lot of wet turning, I must admit.
No.
Just a piece of ivy.
Different story. I hear it cracks all the time. Cherry, seasoned cherry is good to turn. It doesn't check or crack. I've got 4-inch cherry somewhere that is quite good. Sorry, headset fell off as I stooped down.
As long as you wasn't your head falling off, that's all right.
No, I thought I got the cherry in here, but I haven't. But cherry is quite stable once it's dried. But if you can get it planked, it does dry quicker. You won't find commercially big planks of cherry. Most of it is 2.5 inch because of that. If you've never turned cherry before, Rob, see if you can get hold of a bit. It is nice. Some of it has got a cinnamony smell. I think that's the best way of explaining it. And Pete's right, cherry turns wet, does distort more than others. Apple distorts a bit, but cherry would be the last one I would turn like I am here, because that would have where I've super glued the little cracks. The little cracks will be 1/2 inch wide, and you probably get 1, 2, maybe 3 of them on a log of the same size as what I've got here today. So it depends where you are, Rob, in the world. Different countries have different trees of different species, and the cracking and the sporting and everything is different. All of the wood that I use, apart from the exotics, which I don't use a great deal because of the cost of them, but I can track down for virtually next to nothing. I've just got processing costs on top. But cherry is a nice wood to turn. It does make me sneeze a bit, the one that's got the smell to it.
It's got a nice smell though.
Yeah, cinnamon, yeah, but
if you like cinnamon,
yeah, being asthmatic, it does get up my hooter quite well.
That changes things a bit. Yep.
But certainly track some down, Rob. It is nice.
Yeah, have a go at it. Yep.
There's not many UK woods that I haven't turned one way or the other, and a lot of them before I got as good as what I am today. But I am only me trained. I haven't, apart from one lesson with Les Thorne, I haven't had any professional turn round and say, you're doing it wrong, or you do this. I've had several professionals message me and say, I'm looking at what you've just done, and the way you're doing it is good. So to me, that's a professional endorsement.
Yep.
So
Good.
if there's most of the turn comes from the yard and back 40, I'm not sure if I have any cherry trees. Okay. Commercially sourced cherry is more expensive than a lot of others because of the problems they have getting it down to a decent size. And like I say, you're hard pushed to get anything much more than 2.5, maybe 3 inches, depends where you come from. And Woodworm Paul's just dropped in. Okay, Paul, it will be up on the tubes later on when I hit the end button. And this is only part one of a two-parter. Come and join us if you can get in next Tuesday at 1 o'clock again. So Rob's saying he's going to try and find some. You don't need big pieces. And if you've got a piece that shakes and splits and it's cracked all over the place, it's good for pens, small stuff.
Yeah.
Pens,
Cut it in half down the middle and you've...
Yeah, bottle stoppers,
yeah.
cord pulls. Finish is nice. You can get a nice finish on it.
Good.
So I think with that, guys, Andy and I are going to sign out.
Yep. Thank you for joining us.
Radar, if you're turning cedar, don't turn it in the sunlight. It heats up and the wood cracks. I would suggest a lot of that is general with woods, radar. Don't turn in the bright sunlight. And you don't want to. Yew is the worst one for that because it heat cracks, heat shakes. If you're getting a lot of cracks because of heat, you might want to think of a different method of sanding. Cedar is so light that you don't really need to sand it a great deal.
It's often sanding with you that causes the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're generating the heat.
Yeah.
So if you're doing anything with yew, which is heat sensitive, and any heat sensitive wood, to hell with the expense. Go and get yourself another bit or a new piece of abrasive. You can use the old abrasive on scabby old bit of oak, beech, ash, which it will probably work on quite well. But think of the abrasive and how much it literally costs you, which is pence.
Yep. Good.
I think everyone's saying cheerio to each other.
Still
appreciate 20. There's 25 in still.
Yep.
And we're an hour and 10 minutes, so that's 20 minutes of chat on the end of turning.
Yes.
But I'm going to call it a day, guys.
Good. Time to go.
You want to put your link in for next Tuesday evening?
I can do that again. Yep.
Can't put my link in for next Tuesday lunchtime because I haven't generated it yet. But I'm doing next Tuesday lunchtime.
I should be putting it in next Tuesday as well.
And yeah, Andy's following me next Tuesday evening. Rich is on tonight, or we don't know that he isn't, shall we say?
Should be. Yes.
It's his time on the programme to come in tonight to do that. And then, so I'm doing a two-parter, and then Andy will do a two-parter. So he's doing next Thursday evening and the following Tuesday lunchtime. But it'll all be up on the message, up on the social, so you can catch it all. Thanks, guys. You put it in yet, Andy?
Yes, it's there. Yep, or should be.
No.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
Hit the
It's on
enter.
you. It's on you. Oh no, I haven't hit enter. That would probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? There we are. It is now.
It is now.
There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So that's
Well,
Andy's for next Thursday.
that's quite quick, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube to StreamYard. Pretty good. Good.
Right.
Okie doke.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to see you all again.
I'm off.
Thank
Appreciate you
you.
coming in. So we'll see you all when we do.